I sat in the third row at my ex-fiancé's wedding, the one where his new bride used to be my best friend of 10 years, wearing a yellow dress that my cousin said made me look like sunshine and trouble at the same time. I smiled through the entire ceremony. I hugged them both at the reception. I even danced, and I did all of that knowing something that was going to unravel both of their lives within the year. My name is Jolene Marsh, and this is the story of the most patient decision I have ever made in my life. I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, raised by my grandmother, Nana Ruth. After my mama had some struggles when I was young, Nana Ruth was the kind of woman who ironed her church clothes on Saturday night, had a scripture for every situation, and made the best smothered pork chops you have ever put in your mouth. She also used to say, "Jolene, still water runs deep and revenge runs deeper, so let the Lord do the running." I didn't fully understand that at 9. I understood it completely at 31. My best friend, I'll call her Bria, because that's her name, and she does not deserve the protection of a fake one. Bria and I had been tight since freshman year at Memphis State, 10 years of friendship. She was my person, the one I called when anything happened, good or bad, the one who stayed on the phone with me until 2 a.m., the night my grandmother got sick, the one who showed up to my apartment with wine and no explanation needed when I just texted her the word come. We had been making vision boards for each other's hypothetical weddings since we were 22, over box wine and bad reality TV. I had handed her my entire life freely, the way you do when you trust someone so completely it doesn't even occur to you to hold anything back. And then there was Damon Whitfield, came into my life at 28, through a mutual friend at a cookout in Germantown. Tall, easy smile, worked in corporate finance, smelled like cedar and expensive soap. We dated 14 months. He proposed on a Tuesday evening in January. Just the two of us, no big production. He said he didn't want to share the moment with anybody else. At the time, I thought that was romantic. I know now it was just how he operated. Private, compartmentalized, two-faced, in a way so smooth you had to admire the craftsmanship, even while it was destroying you. We were 8 months into the engagement when I found out, and the way I found out wasn't dramatic. No suspicious text, no hotel receipt. It was a Monday morning, Bria's apartment. I had her spare key because that was just how we moved. I'd gone over to drop off her birthday gift before she woke up, let myself in, walked down that hallway, and opened that bedroom door. I don't need to describe what I saw. You already know what I saw. What I will tell you is what I did next, because this is the part that surprises people every single time. I closed the door, quietly, set her birthday gift on the kitchen counter, walked back out to my car, and I sat there for exactly 23 minutes. I know because I watched the clock on my dashboard the whole time. Then I drove home, and I started thinking. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Jolene, why didn't you go back in there and flip that whole apartment upside down? Why didn't you call Damon right then and let him have every piece of your mind at full volume? And I hear you, every single one of those. Impulses ran through me like an electric current sitting in that car. But here's what Nana Ruth also used to say. She said, baby, when somebody shows you who they are, don't react, investigate. And I was my grandmother's child down to the bone, so I investigated. And what I found, I did not expect it. And honestly, neither will you. Over the next 3 weeks, I got very quiet and very focused in a way that people who know me well would recognize as dangerous. I stopped calling Bria as much, blamed work stress, which she accepted without pushing, which told me something about how checked in she actually was. I kept things with Damon surface level and warm, which wasn't even hard, because he was so confident in his own performance that he never once checked my face for cracks. I went back through 4 years of memories and started looking at them differently. All the times Bria had asked a few, too many questions about Damon. All the times he'd gone, quiet when her name came up. All the times they'd both been at the same gathering and moved around each other with a specific kind of Careful that I had filed under "they just don't vibe," when really it was something else entirely. And then I found the thing that changed everything. It had nothing to do with Bria. It was something older. Something that predated me entirely. Let me put it this way. Damon worked in corporate finance, and over 14 months of dating, he had casually mentioned certain things, offhand comments, little details he thought meant nothing, that, when I lined them all up on paper, painted a very specific picture. The kind of picture that people in financial compliance take very seriously. I wrote 12 pages in one sitting, every detail, every date, every comment I could remember. A close girlfriend of mine who worked in that world made 2 phone calls. Within a month, there was a quiet inquiry underway, one that had nothing to do with me officially, and everything to do with me in reality. I won't say more than that, except that Damon had been building a house of cards long before I ever walked in. Meanwhile, Damon and Bria had apparently decided that since I was taking the breakup so well, because I had ended it clean, no explosion, no explanation beyond "this isn't working," that they were free to go public. Instagram official within 6 weeks, engaged within the year. And then I got a paper invitation to their bridal shower in my mailbox, which I genuinely respect for its audacity. Now, before I tell you what happened at that wedding, I need you to understand the mindset I was in walking through those doors. Because this is the part where everything changes. I bought a gift from the registry, a stand mixer, $240. I wrote a card that said, "Wishing you everything you deserve," because I meant it completely, and they would not understand it until much later. I sat in the 3rd row in that yellow dress. I smiled through the whole ceremony. I hugged them both at the reception. I danced. I was the picture of grace, because Nana Ruth did not raise someone who falls apart in public. She raised someone who waits. 8 months after the wedding, the inquiry became something more formal. Damon's name appeared in a filing that became public record. His firm put him on administrative leave. The story got around not because of me, not officially, but because the truth has its own momentum once you stop standing in front of it. Bria called me on a Thursday night, crying, asking if I had known. I let the phone ring twice before I picked up. I thought about Nana Ruth, about still water, about patience as its own form of power. If you've ever had to choose between exploding in the moment and playing the long game, drop it in the comments. I want to know what you did, and I want to know if you regret it. And if this story resonated with you, subscribe, because I share stories like this every single week. And I promise you, this one is not even close to the wildest thing that has ever happened to me. Then I picked up the phone and I said, "Bria, honey, I tried to tell you," and I left it right there.